I think there's something that could hypothetically be considered big news when it comes to Zebec. Why is that? Very recently, when it comes to X, Zebec made a post on there, and it was announcing how they're teaming up with World Mobile Team to launch ZebecNet. And what is this, right? It's allegedly a data-only eSIM network built on World Mobile's decentralized infrastructure and made exclusively for the Zebec ecosystem. And now, of course, nowadays we know that eSIMs, they're typically very popular. So having arguably, let's say, a data-only eSIM network, that could hypothetically be, I think, something that really excites me. Now, not to mention, this allegedly is going to have coverage in over 70 countries and is optimized for real-time financial transactions, and ZebecNet allegedly is going to keep payrolls, payments, and cards connected securely and without borders. However, keep in mind, it does say launching fall of 2025, so I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions here, but I do still like the narrative and I like the direction in which Zebec is heading, because keep in mind, with everything that Zebec has going on with it, I don't think that it necessarily needs to do this, but I do like how it's even trying to do it in the first place because it showcases their vision, and I think it showcases that they actually think about the long term. Let's just think about this logically. On top of this, we see how Zebec has, of course, its focus on the education market through Science Card UK. We take a look at how it's allegedly focused on compliance by acquiring something called GateKnox. So really, Zebec is already kind of a complete project. And again, just like I mentioned before, it has aspect of payrolls, payments, but then also at the same time, we take a look at how it's also focused on real-world assets, aka RWAs, which is kind of an emerging market, I would say, as of late. And also, not to mention, it's focused on global trade and finance. So really, in the grand scheme of things, I really like what Zebec is doing here because, again, other projects out there in its position may not necessarily want to do this, but the fact that it's even doing it in the first place, that's a big thumbs up for me. However, even besides all that, some people like to say, okay, the price of ZBCN isn't really doing much, and there's a pretty big pullback. I'm totally aware of that, but with everything that I see with Zebec, not to mention allegedly Circle, which is the creator of USDC, they supposedly hold a big amount of ZBCN, and I think that's probably because Circle is one of the early backers when it comes to Zebec, and also Solana Ventures also one of the backers when it comes to Zebec. But besides all that, when I consider just kind of the complete package and what Zebec has been able to achieve, what it's even doing, the idea of 10 cents hasn't left my mind quite necessarily because I still have that kind of mindset. Even though nothing I say is financial advice, if we take a look at something like, Shiba Inu reaching around a $40 billion market cap, Dogecoin reaching over $80 billion market cap back in 2021, and then we see how, considering current circulating supply at the price of 10 cents, market cap around $9 billion, that doesn't seem too outlandish to me. And Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, they reached that years ago back in 2021. And we have to consider, right, what is trying to make more of a bigger impact, I would say, Zebec or those projects. Now, it's kind of an apples to oranges comparison because they are meme coins. But again, they reach in the tens of billions of market cap at one point, and that was years ago. Is around a $9 billion market cap for ZBCN during a fully fledged type of hypothetical altcoin season something too outlandish? It's not something that I would find outlandish, actually. And I feel like the vibes of this bull run, let's say if we do ever see a fully fledged type of altcoin season this cycle, I think it actually excites me more than kind of the idea of 2021. Let me explain why. Right now, we have over 600 million crypto owners, which some people may think, okay, why is that even a big deal? Well, it's because in the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was around 300 million crypto owners. So now we have way more. So could you imagine the volume, kind of the attention that could very well be had if, let's say, there is a fully fledged type of altcoin season? And by the way, we have that many crypto owners currently. It's not like it's a projection or something like that. We have it right now. And altcoins, quite generally speaking, they haven't necessarily kind of had that 2021 moment. Now, some people may arguably say, okay, there's more competitors. Totally aware of that in the grand scheme of things because there's launch pads and whatnot. A lot of people are just launching, random meme coins, it feels like in some cases. But then when it comes to, if we take a look at it kind of in a vacuum, in a sense where if we just take a look at the projects that are very similar to Zebec, I don't think there's that many that are that popular. Like, for instance, is having arguably 4 direct competitors too much? I don't think so, actually. Because let's assume that Ripple and Stellar, the number 1 and number 2 within the place of, or should I say space, of global trade and finance and the payments market. XRP and XLM, I mean, ZBCN's not overtaking that, you know what I mean? However, we have to take a look at its kind of direct competitors. XCN, aka Onyx Coin, we take a look at XDC, we take a look at Swift Coin, and as well as XPR. Again, that's arguably 4 that are direct, sort of. So when people like to say, oh, ZBCN isn't going to do this or do that because there's too many competitors. Well, I don't think that there's that many, actually. And sure, only time will tell what it could very well do during a fully fledged type of altcoin season. But I've seen what ZBCN did not too long ago, and that was without a fully fledged type of altcoin season, and it already kind of did that. It felt like kind of out of nowhere. So if it was able to do that before, what could it very well do in the future? This is why I'm excited. There's no guarantees though, but I'm staying patient because whenever the altcoin season truly decides to want to happen during this cycle, it's going to happen probably when I least expect it to do so. So I just want to be holding, waiting, and that's it. But in the meantime, I do really like what I'm seeing when it comes to Zebec. And again, what it's trying to do with World Mobile. I like the direction in which Zebec is heading. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's only the captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.